Ever since the last time you played in Holland, what have you been doing? Last 6 months or so?
Touring back home in the States mostly.
That's about like Type of Negative life, eh? The last few years. Just touring, recording.
Had I known this when I quit my day job 4 years ago, I probably would never have quit it, because I really don't like touring.
That's what you always say, but you still keep touring. What don't you like about touring?
I don't like the fact that there's no way that a person can ever have a schedule where I don't know when I can do my laundry or take a shower or shit or shave. You know, it's just you cannot plan on anything. At least when I worked for the city back home, I knew I was going to be home at a certain time and I could get on with my life.
This also sounds like somebody who wants to just quit playing and just get the hell back to the same job. Shouldn't be that, is it?
When I think about that, I realize that all good things and all bad things must come to an end, and that someday the band will break up. And every day that I tour, I just feel I'm one day closer to that.
One of the things is Dynamo. I mean, you've been here. Is it different to be for the second time?
So far, no. I've only been here about 2 hours already, except it's a lot hotter this time. That's the only difference.
Does it matter for a Type of Negative show?
That it's hot? Well, I understand it may hail this evening, which will be interesting. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, whether it's hot or cold. We're going to do the same job anyway. Whether we play to 150 people or 150,000 people, we're still going to give the same effort.
You're also going to shoot a video clip over here. For which song is it?
Cinnamon Girl. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a live video.
It's just shooting on stage?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. And when will it be out?
I hope by next time we come back to Europe, which is around July 1st, it'll be released.
And what about the tour schedule for the next few months? Is it something to get sad about, or will it end in a few months?
Well, this is the last show of our little tour here. We've been here about 2.5 weeks. We go home tomorrow, we'll be home for 4 days, and then we start the Ozfest back in the States with Marilyn Manson, Pantera, Machine Head, Fear Factory, Black Sabbath, Us, Drain, a bunch of other great bands as well.
When you play on a festival like that, are you watching the other bands, or is it just working, so just being on stage and doing interviews?
Well, I'm not doing interviews, I'm watching the bands.
And what about new material? I mean, it's the biggest cliche question ever, but what about new material for Type of Negative?
I've got a whole bunch of stuff written. It's just a matter of getting home and having a break and trying to organize it. I've been working with the guys and stuff on just like parts here and then, not really whole songs, and they seem to like what I've come up with.
Does it differ a lot from what we know of Type of Negative? Because the sound of Type of Negative really changes every album, of course.
I think one should always be surprised what they hear from us, and I think you'd be very surprised what you hear next album.
Is it in a way of harder, faster, or whatever?
I would like it harder, actually, but kind of dancey almost.
Is it true that because a lot of metal bands and also other rock bands, whatever, are trying to get something across with techno acts, etc.? I mean, is it something new, or is it something a real new hype or whatever?
I really don't pay attention to what anyone else is doing, simply because I don't care and I don't want to be influenced. But it seems to me that a lot of bands are doing like a techno remix or something else, and we've been asked to do this now with Cinnamon Girl. So honestly, I'm not too happy about it, but we'll see what happens.
You will have it done, the techno remix? By whom?
I'm trying to think of the person's name. I cannot remember, I'm sorry.
What about other experiments? I mean, is Type of Negative a band who lets real experiments into their sound?
Well, I mean, I like when the other guys, tell me what they like, because I'm the songwriter. But as far as experimenting, I would love to if there's time, but we'll see when we go home. I mean, right now it's just touring, playing the same set every night, doing interviews, trying to do our laundry and take a shower, So there's really not much time for writing and rehearsing at this point.
And what's your plan when you finish touring, finish playing, finish making music?
Rubber, maybe write soundtracks for movies, or maybe just buy a house somewhere and isolate myself from the rest of the world and do all of mankind a favor.
Are you sure? Is it a real thing you think about yourself, that if you isolate yourself, everybody should be happy?
I think it's best for people if I'm just not around them.
Why the hell?
I could be a bad influence.